Hello everyone! Okay, wait, pause. Whoa. Alright, so, I did this build for Newcrest a while ago. Let's go into tab here. And this is the Be Well Spa and Gym. And the footage for it... So something happened. I recorded the build, the decor, everything all at once, and something happened, and the audio was fine. I mean, my personal voiceover of the build was fine. The build itself stopped part of the way through, and I have no idea what happened to it. This is for my Newcrest Asylum challenge. I am going to actually be placing all of these back into the world of my initial game. Yeah, let's do this. We'll come all the way, and this is actually my self-sim. This is the Gaming Cat. So I'm just going to tab out and take you on a tour. Because, yeah, I cannot figure out what happened to the audio here. Love the doors. So what I wanted was a really luxurious gym and spa location. You know, something with a bistro, you know, where Sims can eat. They have a whole dining area here. Let's keep the page up here so I can do that. Now, I love what I did with the chairs here, the sofas. And something I was actually tried doing in the the garden artist build. I don't know if you guys remember that, but I decided to actually do it here. Let me pan out a little. So we've got this going on, and I used some of the new carpeting from Dine Out. Actually, I used quite a bit from Dine Out. You know, coming into the actual gym area here. I had a bit of fun with this, and I'm sure you can see by now what I mean by I had a bit of fun. The spiders. This was a joke that the friend who was watching me do this and I were talking about. She's like, "Oh, you should so do it!" And I chuckled, and I added them. Because I have whimsy like that. And apparently, well, this guy's the only one that's confused by it. He's like, "Why is there a spider hanging on the wall? What's happening here?" But yeah, there's only on that side. That's the only spot where I have a little bit of fun with it. Made a little seating area over here with the lockers. Have a place for them to throw their shoes. Outside, I had a lot of fun with. I wanted a very luxurious spa-type atmosphere. I have all the chairs sitting around the big tree here. Whether or not they can use those chairs is up for debate. Not sure. A couple of more lovely lounge seating areas. What I put here are basically what I consider to be mineral baths. You know, you go in and you soak. You soak in lovely mineral waters and rejuvenate yourself. There's a beautiful lap pool with a diving board. And I love the new water color that we got from Get Together. That sort of deep, rich cerulean blue is so gorgeous. So gorgeous. Anyway, so upstairs. Yeah, I'm giving you a quick walkthrough, and then I redid some camera work. I can do this. I redid some of the other houses that I had previously built. This is me trying to mess with the camera, because I just want to give a good view. Goodness. Alright, so I have a beautiful fish tank here. No fish. I don't know if that's just because no one's gotten to stocking it yet, or what. Not sure. But yeah, this is the spa area of the lounge. Out here, you know, through the double doors, we have a beautiful yoga area and a meditation space. This is, in essence, where my Sims go, or where my Sims are allowed to go from the asylum when they've been good. He, Michael, because he is the son of my Sims 4 Bakery Girl challenge. Yeah, that her son is regrettably going to have the insane trait, and she is going to send them to the Newcrest Asylum. Name yet to be determined. But once he completes one of his goals for the asylum, he'll be able to come here with all the asylum guests. All of them. Now, I'm breaking the rules a little bit on the asylum. There's one Sim that must stay alive, aside from my own, no matter what. That is Loki. that is it's a personal thing. A friend of mine and I decided that this was going to be a thing, and I'm going to have to break the rules to keep Loki alive. It'll be interesting. I think it'll add an extra dimension of challenge to my asylum. Alright, so we have the massage chairs over here, which I really like this little corner. It's very cute. We have the massage tables, and in here we have spa rooms, or sauna rooms rather. Nothing too drastic. Just your basic sauna. Get some lighting, little seating areas, some stuff on the walls, so on and so forth. Places to hang your things. Another one over here. We're just gonna woo right through the slats, right through. Another one. Again, nothing big. Oh, I forgot to. Oh, I forgot to put things in there. Never mind. Don't look at that. Don't look at that. Something very soothing and tranquil in here. Again, I love these lights, but apparently sometimes these lights disappear in live mode. That actually happened in one of my other games. I hung the triple pendant light, and they disappeared in live mode. It's very strange. So here we have each there are three. I basically consider these mud rooms, mud bathrooms. Nothing too drastic. Not too much art on the walls here. A place where you can go. Oh, this is the deluxe one, the large one. A place you can go. You can kind of just get your mud bath on, relax. The windows are even tinted. So it's not. You have some measure of privacy. This one's the most interesting, I think, because you had mirrors or windows all along the wall here. But you have you've got some music floating through. Very soothing atmosphere. And then downstairs, all the way downstairs, I realized I hadn't added enough space for bathrooms. So here we have them. Nothing too major here. We have the couple of male, couple of female, 3 each, I think. And I just had fun with the decor on these. Let me see if I can get the camera up. I can't. I hear the Sims 3 or the Sims 4 camera, and that doesn't seem to affect anything. Anyway, yeah, it doesn't seem to affect anything. But, and I could go into build mode then and do, floor plan screenshots. But yeah, each one of these has its own sort of color theme to it. I think they're really nice. In fact, let me see. Can I get down here in tab again? Maybe I can give you. Oh, yep. I have a fountain. I can give you a bit of a bird's eye tour here. Just a lot of wheatgrass, just because I think it looked pretty. Yeah, again, nothing too major here on a lot of these. So yes, there's still going to be the other Sims, and I'm not going to control the Loki Sim directly. I'm just going to ensure he does not die. It's in essence, if he's on fire, if something happens, I will correct and keep him alive. If he hasn't eaten in a while, I will correct and keep him alive. But that's really the only thing that I'm doing with him in that sense. They're not necessarily gender-specific bathrooms here, aside from the one on the door. I didn't really color scheme-wise go for anything gender-specific. I went for whatever the heck I felt like, and whatever I thought looked cool. So some of the feminine bathrooms are masculine-looking. Some of the masculine bathrooms... Did I say bedrooms? I meant bathrooms. Some of the masculine bathrooms are feminine-looking. I just wanted to have fun with them. Really didn't do anything too gender-neutral. Went with a black and white theme in here, and then that bright-ass pop of color, because why not? Color! Yeah, I went color with the artwork there. I was getting a little bit desperate for themes by the end of this. So, big green staircase coming down, all those lovely lights. And, yeah. So that's this whole build. And then I'm going to be taking you on speed builds through the other 2 houses that I renovated the outside of, and actually the upcycled starter. That's a lovely note to leave that on, too. The upcycled starter, I actually did, pop back out here. I actually did an entire internal rebuild as well, and added some things to it. So yep, this is the Be Well Spa and Gym. I'm sorry that the speed build for it got wrecked. I don't know what happened. I found that OBS has a problem with recording over 5 hours. And yes, this did take over 5 hours for me to do. I had a friend over. I grabbed food in the process. Oh, this is a really lovely shot too. I did grab food in the process, and so on. I'm actually going to grab the the screenshots for this, just a couple. Since I took you on a tour, I just kind of want a front screenshot for my thumbnail and, you know, the floor plan screenshots for the end. And I will see you in those speed builds. Bye! Hey guys, we're back with a funky little speed build thing. More like a speed backyard. Two of them, actually. So what I have here is I decided to go out and buy the 2 new stuff packs, the outdoor stuff and the kids' room stuff, the backyard stuff I believe it was, and I decided to breathe a little new life into 2 of my builds, technically 3, but all I did was add a slip and slide, water slide thing to the log cabin build that I did for 2, because there's a mom and a little girl there, and I redid the little girl's room with some of the new stuff just for kicks. Don't think I took any pictures of it, and I'm not even certain I re-uploaded it to the gallery, so sorry about that. But I also have redone my gallery ID. I am now TheGamingKatYT, which should be popping up on your screen very soon. Right there it is. Yep, TheGamingKatYT, that is my new origin ID. All of my builds are on there, and all of my builds for this asylum build have a new hashtag, and that is hashtag asylum builds with an S. That'll be popping up on your screen soon too, if it hasn't already, which, you know what, actually I'm gonna go, it's right here. Come on. Oh, what, really? 2 seconds. No, that's not it. Bummer. Okay. So, I've now adjusted it. It will now pop up asylum builds. There it is. Hashtag asylum builds. I swear I'm prepared for this. I promise. I'm such a dork, guys. I apologize for my unprepared nature. Okay, so back to the build, because I've lost my mind entirely. I decided to give her a little square pond here. This is actually the house where my self-sim lives. I just wanted to have her in the world for kicks. She's usually the person, if I do a house build, I take to get the screenshots and things for, and the other community builds and things like that. Whoops, just knocked over my table. I'm gonna grab a drink of water quickly. My throat's a touch dry. There we go. It is a bit warm here, unfortunately. I have the air conditioner turned off so that I can comfortably record. Unfortunately, I have not figured out a way to easily and nicely edit out the very, very loud air conditioner, and it is literally, like not even 6 feet from me. It is maybe 4.5, 5. It's up on the wall. I'm living in a very, very small economy apartment right now. I moved, and a good friend of mine, well, I kind of lost my apartment, more or less. Not through my own fault. My roommate did not have a job for most of the time he lived with me. He was also my boyfriend at the time. Even though we broke up, he refused to leave the apartment. Long story short, yes, some of that was my fault. I should have stood up for myself more and thrown him out. It was also nigh upon impossible for me to throw him out. He was refusing to go, and without getting the police involved and lawyers, it would have been a bad time all around. His name was on the lease, and I've learned my lesson. So learned my lesson. So never having that happen again. What are you gonna do? I'm recovering. So my good friend said, hey, my parents have a large property. I am still living with them. He is here for a number of reasons, in part to be able to help his parents. They're retired and health issues and all of that, and it saves him money so he can pay his bills and so on and so forth. So, he's living here. He talked to them and said, hey, she's going through a really, really rough time. Can we help her out? I wanted to build something here with this. At first I just wanted to, sort of border, pardon me, the little gazebo area, the little eating area there. I decided instead to make it a full-on gazebo with a latticework terrace on the top. That latticework terrace took forever. I actually edited some of it out. And here, I couldn't figure out why there was no building floor above the columns. That apparently is not a thing anymore. So I built a room around it, and yeah, I used that little flooring or the fencing from Get to Work. And I originally started going the wrong way, and you'll see here it eventually flips over to where I figured out I'm going the right way now. And there it is. I had a lot of fun with that, though. Yep, and I decided to make it even more complicated and go all the way through and, yeah, make all these itty-bitty little triangles! Itty-bitty tiny little triangles! And then I had to delete the floor out of each individual one, and I cursed myself a couple of times on the way through. Anyway, back to my story. My friend spoke with his parents. They said, not a problem. She can live down here, get her on her feet, so on and so forth. No rent, no charge, none of the above. No problems. I actually got a notion that I could put the spandrels in here. I had fun with this. Now, I did notice in some of the screenshots that some of them went away, and I'm kind of confused by this. I don't know if it's just something that disappears in-game when you're using it, or if it's something else. I wanted to do some privacy fencing here. I also wanted to do the vine work that I've seen on a lot of builds. I have been floating around YouTube just looking at simmers and different things. One, just for fun, two, for ideas, mostly just for fun, and to see what other people are doing. And I found Lil Simsy. She's so sweet and cool. She is so cute. Like, she's so energetic and so fun to watch. I love it. And she does this series that has, it's based on an HGTV show, Fixer Upper. And she takes builds that her audience does and revamps them. Basically, she gives herself a budget, and for the most part doesn't really change the house itself. Not the build of the house, anyway. She just goes through and cleans up the backyard, redoes the painting, furniture. She makes it look really, really neat. She takes it from, like, a disaster. Some of them are really bad. Like, they're overgrown with weeds, and there's just random stuff everywhere. And it's really nifty. And she just goes through and fixes the whole thing. And fixes it up to their specifications. There's usually a little story that goes along with it. It's really cool. But in there, one of the, a common theme among the the houses is to have vines growing up the sides of the house. And I know they use plants somewhere in here. It's all Sims 4 stuff. I just could not find the plants that they were using. I couldn't get it right. I could not figure out how they managed to do that. I tried. In fact, I cut out a lot of my trying because I pulled out a whole lot of plants. I spent hours on this. This was most of yesterday. So I couldn't figure it out, and I might have just missed it. So I'm just going to have to play around with it on my own, I think. But my idea stemmed from that to going, okay, I can't actually figure this out. And I really did look everywhere. Honestly, everywhere for it. I looked at plants, other plants and things, just trying to figure it out. It wasn't happening. So what I decided to do was take plants, the hollyhocks, actually, because they get really, really tall. In real life, hollyhocks get super tall. My great-aunt's hollyhocks were way above my head. They were, 8 or 9 foot tall hollyhocks, minimum. And it's not an exaggeration. She had a huge amount of these things. So they were also, there for a while, so on and so forth. So I decided to raise up the hollyhocks, in essence, to mimic what they are in real life, to mimic the height that they are in real life. And that's not even fully mimicking it. And I decided to use the hydrangeas there to sort of mask the fact that these plants are floating. Ooh, goodness. Now, I could have stacked them, and that might have worked nicely as well. And I didn't actually think of that at the time. But now that I see that notion, I probably could have done that. But I decided to use the hydrangeas instead. And the hydrangeas are super pretty. And I still don't know why I tried to do this with the pond. I think I wanted to make a more finished look with it, but I just couldn't figure out, the fountain, rather. It didn't work. Eventually I do go through and I double up all of the hydrangeas, or not the hydrangeas, the hollyhocks. And make it much more thick and much more lush. I really wanted to give her privacy, but not make it an enclosed space. I wanted to have, more light shining through and things like that. And I do take a bit of inspiration from another house building show. Actually, it was barn builders, I believe is what they're called. They're basically this group of people that take barns and old cottages and old log cabins, and they take them apart and they salvage all of the wood and things from it and rebuild homes from it, and make new homes from it. And I eventually took inspiration to take some of the windows that we have in the game and put them between the columns, to basically as if she found a place that had some old windows, went antiquing, found some really cool old windows, and just decided to hang them there. Again, privacy, blocking the wind, so on and so forth. Although, even though I know there's no wind in The Sims 4, there's no seasons in The Sims 4. It is eternal summer, and there's no rain, and nothing. I wanted to get those hand-hewn boxes, but that whole area I decided to change, because I decided to use things that... Okay, guys, those little bubblers that go in the pond look so neat! It's magical, I swear. I actually took this house and ported it to my own personal game. And I gave my Sims the money they needed to buy this, and I ended up having to renovate it a little. I had to add a baby's room, because this is only a one-bedroom. But anyway, it looks so neat. I love it. If you don't want to use my build, it's okay. Go to the gallery or go to your own game and throw that in. Now, I wanted to use the stained glass one here for that, but it cuts away on the side and it looks really weird. So I don't know what I was thinking there. It just looks so strange. I eventually do find just a little 4 or 5 panel, split panel window. Looks kind of old, like it's kind of been around for a while. Yeah, I eventually do find the window that I'm looking for. So, where'd it go? There it is! Yes, that one. And I just end up using 4 of them, I think, in that space. And I really like how it looks. I ended up having to move that one hollyhock, but it looks really nice. And I go through and I adjust them all so they're all the same height, and they're all not, pushed in or out or over or around, under, so on and so forth. So, yeah, this was a lot of fun to do. I really like playing in this house now. I added a few things in my own personal game. I threw in, I think, who's a what's it? Wow, I threw in a who's a what's it? Yeah, no, I threw in a bar. And I ended up moving that so it's not clipping through so much. The idea that, the plants would kind of grow around that, I get. No big deal. I wanted this to basically be sort of an outdoor garden space for her to have, like the wheatgrass there. Actually, yeah, I do make it bigger. Basically, like, she's got cooking plants and herbs and things growing out here, just in a little semi-shaded area where the sun's not going to get to them too much. The one plant from Dine Out almost looks like thyme. It's one of the wall-hanging plants. That one. Almost looks like thyme, like large thyme. So I decided to throw that up there basically as if she were just, protecting them from the sun, more or less. That one looks a little bit like basil to me, or oregano. Just, throwing plants out there that kind of look like they could be herbs and things that she would be using. Not all of them, obviously those are not herbs, but they're really pretty and I wanted to use them. I do like the plants. I kind of move some things around, making sure that the Sims could get at all of it. I haven't playtested every single ounce of this. I haven't actually had them go out and use the grill and things like that, but they don't really need to get around it because the grill itself, it's facing outward. What I wanted to do is give the illusion of them using the drawers and the things in the back of it. So, I think I do use, but that's another one of the backyard stuff. That one there. Yep, that's another one of the backyard stuff. Comes in some pretty neat colors and textures. I think that's the one I go with. And I just use that as an extra, storage space, more plants, because you can never have too many plants, and just some general outdoor things to make it look like a really just lovely sort of, this is very recreational for them. They staycation a lot. Because their house is so beautiful. I love that thing. I actually saw the Sims Supply almost use it in one of his builds that I'm actually going to be using as inspiration for another build for the Asylum Challenge for Newcrest. He goes to put it in the backyard of something, and it's a greenhouse, of all things. And I thought it just had such a neat look to it, I wanted to use it. And originally I was going to use it as an actual legit greenhouse. and put plants and things, and use the planters and things under it, but I just really didn't like the way it looked. I played around with it for a while. See, I could put the, picnic stuff out there. Staycation. A lot of staycationing happening here. All the staycations. I think, yeah, eventually I put that over there. Just, all sorts of funky things. I don't think I put the pots and pans out there. I can't quite remember. I did so much stuff with this build and had so much fun with this build that I just did. This is my dream house. Another one of them. Just like with the garden artist. If I could live in this house, I would. I would totally live here. I would do that right now. I probably couldn't afford it right now, but I'd live in it anyway. Eventually, I do take a couple of things from Buy to Bug, and I put them on the counter there. I believe, yeah, it's juice bottles, air quotes. I actually kind of want to build a little restaurant too, a little diner or dive for for Newcrest, just a place where they can go. I don't know that necessarily the Sims are going to own it or run it, and I'm not sure how that'll work. If it'll have, like the spa, if it'll have people come to tend to it or not. I'm not certain. That plant doesn't stay there, unfortunately. When I download it, I didn't download it with build. Words. I has them. I am so sorry. I'm so awkward. Alright. I did not download this with move objects on. That's the word I was looking for. Whew. Yeah, I did not download this with move objects on, so that dropped to the floor. I'm sure there are a couple of other items that did, like the juice container and those guys. No, I do keep those there. The clay pot, the teacup, and the teapot. I just kind of, I just thought it was neat. I do throw the wine rack up there. As, something if you're cooking, you could just go grab quickly. I spent a lot of time wondering what I was going to do in this spot, so a lot of hemming and hawing and moving around, and I eventually start thinking, okay, I'll just adjust this, and, okay, well, it doesn't really look right, and I did try to go grab the little tiny ones, the tiny square ones, and it just did not look right. Trust me, it looked awful. And I spent a lot of time working with it, and I have to answer this message quickly. So, sorry. I'm gonna let this guy know that, yes, I am recording. He's like, yep, I'm alive and recording. So, sorry guys, but we just got a message from one of my good friends, the guy that's actually letting me live in this place. So, continuing on. So, as we continue on here, I decided to make this almost like a little tea garden. Like, the greenhouse was there when they moved in, and they didn't quite know what to do with it, so they just put some plants in it. Maybe the plants were already there, maybe they moved them around. I don't know, but I like it. I had so much fun with this. I really did. This was just an afternoon. Actually, my friend was sitting here while I was doing all the building, and I was talking about it, and the poor guy didn't tell me to be quiet. He had no clue what I was saying, but he still didn't tell me to be quiet. But yeah, I throw in some chairs over there. I sort of get the idea that this is a cute little, tea area. Like, I would take my tea outside and sip that, and look at the beautiful landscape that's around me, knowing that I did it, and I own it. It would be awesome. I would want to spend time out here. Oh, it's such a long build, I don't even know what to say anymore. Oh, the little chairs. At least I think those are chairs. I'm hoping they're chairs. If not, they're just more little... They look like chairs, okay? They look like chairs to me. I sort of get the idea that perhaps there had been more trees on her property, and that she just cut them down, and instead of getting rid of the tree stumps, what she did was she just made them into little stools. I eventually figure out that those wildflowers come in more colors. For whatever reason, I did not change any of the colorings on those until really soon after putting them all around that tree. And I wanted to stick with a specific color palette and only a couple of types of plants. It's actually something Deligracy talked about. Instead of making it look super overgrown or crazy, ooh, geez, I just hit my knee on my chair here, on my table. Basically, what she said was instead of making it look really overgrown and using every kind of plant, stick to a couple kinds. Now, I kind of overdid that in a few spaces. Oh, yes, while I was at it, I decided to redo the house, too. I was really having a lot of fun with this build. This is the longest redo I do in this whole, 3-section series. The 3 different builds. I add a lot of bump outs to this because I wanted to make the shape more interesting. And I think I accomplished that. It's certainly a very interesting shape by the time I'm done with it. Whether it's a good shape, you can leave that, leave that up for debate. throw that in the comments below. Why not? I'd love to hear from you. If you tell me that you think this whole thing is awful and what on earth was I thinking, let me know. I would just love to know what your thoughts are. I love hearing from you guys, honestly. It makes my day. I actually watch my phone for the notifications, because I do get notifications when people comment on my videos. And I watch my phone for that. I go, ooh, who said something? And then I try to go respond. And I know right now, because my channel is so small, I can respond to everything. And I know I'm not going to be able to do that forever, but it's so fun. I love doing it. I really do. I try to maximize the space in this kitchen, too. It is so tiny. Honestly, it's actually larger than the kitchen I'm using right now, but I've got a kitchenette. I usually go up to the main house to grab food. And I need more water again. Give me one moment. Okay, so it's like marathon talking here. I can do it. That was actually a suggestion from Lil Simsy. She does that in a number of her builds, when she'll take lamps and actually, to make them brighter, she'll move objects on and put two right over each other and they don't clip. And that one specifically, she said, doesn't clip. And I noticed that there are a couple of others that don't as well, because I started trying to do it. And at least they didn't clip to me. This living room is so awkward. And I don't know what I was thinking. I think I just wanted to walk away from it for a moment, till I could figure out what I was going to do. Oh, as I said, maximizing space here. What I end up doing is using a lot of those over-the-head shelving units and things, and counters and cabinetry. Cabinetry, that's the word. Woo. I use a lot of the cabinetry to try to make it look like, well, she's got some space, and she's making the best out of it. And I go through with all of like the clutter items, and I get the cutting board that sits in the wall, the hanging towel that could either be a body towel or a dish towel. It kind of is versatile depending on where you put it. Yep, I have the coat rack there next to wow, words. I don't have them today, guys. Jeez. That bookcase, thank you, is actually pushed into the wall. It's over by the staircase there, and it still is functional. That one I playtested a while ago. I was just looking for more decor items and things I could throw on the wall. Basically, to make it look like she's maximizing her space. She's doing the best she can with the space she has. She's got a couple of drawers, she's got some shelves, and up in those shelves I actually find from the Dine Out series, or the Dine Out set, that there's a good number of little like pasta containers and like dried either peas or whatever, whatever you could throw up there. And I found the tiny little tubs later, those guys. And what I'm doing there is I'm actually using that as a placeholder on the countertop. Otherwise it would consistently snap to the counter whenever I tried to move objects up onto there. So I just used that and deleted it and just went about my business. Eventually I do notice that those pots, because I actually do make this space a little wider, those pots end up hanging on the wall. They just end up hanging there. Oh, those things are really cool, those little chimes. They occasionally will jingle in the wind. And it's not, it's not all the time, it's not consistent, and they have a couple of different tones, and I think that's really cool. And I wanted to throw out the juice thing, the lemonade. And eventually I do have to get rid of those pots. They just don't fit in the space anymore. I did try. Oh, they did disappear. I wonder when that happened. The teapot and teacup I had sitting out there, they disappeared. Odd. I don't remember if I deleted them or if they just went away. Adding more lighting here, and this is where I decide that I end up having to make this wider. And it does, well, eventually I decide I have to make this wider. It does make the space look a little odd. It makes the house look a little odd. Now, I know it's strangely shaped to begin with, but it gets stranger. So just, hang on to something. It gets stranger. I do try to make this wider. I do forget a carpet, too. So, apologies. It's not, there is no carpet there on the gallery. You're just going to have to put one in if you want one. But eventually I do, it's very awkward to me to have the door open and then you kind of like run smack dab into the couch. I thought that was really weird, so I decided to move the windows, which they eventually do get deleted, and add in some extra space. And at first I thought that one tiny bump out would be okay. It's not. Let's face it, guys, it's not. And I can see very quickly here, and I do change it. So it adds some more space, but it does make the top look really weird. I mean, let's face it, really weird. Those windows don't work there anymore, so I end up just getting rid of them entirely. And using those things. Those are cool looking windows. But I don't notice the pots and pans hanging there in midair. I don't notice it until I do the screenshots. I don't know how I managed to not notice this, but I didn't. I wanted to add a little more visual interest to the space, so I decided to, at first, take the slats and move them all the way over, but then I remembered this really neat brick that came with Dine Out. And I liked it so much that I threw it down there, and I eventually threw it outside around the whole base of the house. Oh, that one also layers nicely, that particular lamp. And then I just go through and grab some decor. With the kids' stuff pack, there is a set of paintings that looks very superhero-esque, and I'm a nerd. I like superheroes, I like superhero movies, I like comic books, so I decided to throw that up there on the wall, because it sort of reminded me of me. And I would do that. If I found those prints somewhere, even in various locations, I would grab them and hang them on the wall in various spaces. I would love to find vintage pictures like that, actually, of superheroes, maybe of their original form, their original logos, things like that, and throw it up on the wall, because I think that would be so nifty. Here's when I noticed the shape of this place looking really, really, really bizarre. And I tried moving that inward, and it just didn't quite work, so what I ended up doing was deleting that and just going straight across with it, and leaving that area just sort of as a flat piece. I took away the extra space from upstairs and, just decided to give it there. And at first I was going to let that go and let that be, but I can't do that. So I decided to put a little half roof on this. The roofing on this place has been a nightmare for me from the start. Can't even lie. It's been a nightmare. I hate this roof, by the way. I absolutely hate it. And I tried to fix it. I tried to fix it a couple of times. I spent hours trying to fix it. I deleted most of my trying to fix it, trust me. What I end up doing is throwing the staircase in here. And as you can see, putting the wall in so that I don't have that awkward lighting glitch. And I decided to make this a roof that they can go up to. Something that they can go take care of, just go enjoy nature, and that I don't have to roof it. I don't have to try to put a roof on this because it's insane. And I do put the easel up there, so it gets a few more things out of the bedroom. Because let's face it, this bedroom is cramped. This is super cramped. And I sat there wondering how on earth I could make this less cramped and more, give it better flow. And I actually take away space in order to do this. And I know that sounds bizarre, but I do. I close off that end and extend the bathroom out. Which, it wasn't necessary. It made this a really long gallery bathroom. Or galley bathroom, but you know what, it works because I could put a tub in and I could put some more storage. That's when I realized that there wasn't a wall there. So I actually finished off the wall to the staircase area. That cabinet actually really glitches there. It cuts right through both walls, and I didn't notice it right away until right about here. And I just tuck it in the corner there, and it actually gives a lot more storage, and it gives a purpose to that little awkward space. So, I just changed those to white, making this a little bit more inviting because the walls are so dark, and I didn't want to change that. I really like that deep, beautiful blue with the crisp white trim. I love it. Just added another carpet in the bathroom, threw up some artwork. Those lights annoy me. I love them to death. They're so beautiful. They disappear for the screenshots. You can see them outside through the window, and you can see them reflected in the mirror in the bathroom. But when you go to actually take the screenshots, they're gone. I promise you guys, you'll see it, they're gone. I wanted to throw a full-length mirror in here, also to make the room feel a little bit bigger, but I noticed that a gigantic mirror right by the bed, or right reflecting the bed, may not necessarily be what you want in your bedroom, or at least not what I want in my bedroom. I actually didn't add any extra set-around stuff on or little decor items to the top of the dresser. I actually just left that completely clear. And this is when I decided to go even further and make that little awkward space an extra little deck. There's a little porch on the side, and I just changed the roofing angle here and to reflect the more open area here. I love that top glass thing. That's just so neat looking. This I did very awkwardly. As you can no doubt tell, this is super awkward. Much like me, it's super awkward. Now, why there is a line floating in midair, I have no idea. Probably because I made that an actual roof earlier, and you can see I just shifted that section back, and it took away that weird-ass line. So it's fine. It's totally cool. I'm not certain if that roof is actually counted as a roof or if it's counted as a room. I don't know. I should have taken the room tool and just made that an open room. I didn't. I think I left it as a roof. So hopefully that won't affect your gameplay too poorly if you decide to download this. I'm really hoping it won't. Oh, I did put a small fence there, yeah. And it just threw some plants out under the staircase, just as, you know, something neat. Now, I do go back and add a yoga mat and a meditation space and a lot of plants to the roof. I completely forgot to do that while I was recording this. It was something I did, again, when I went to do screenshots, my recording was done. I totally forgot about it. I did add a railing here in case, you know, you don't want to die going up the stairs. So I added an extra railing to give it a level of safety. I know the Sims can't fall off of it, but I needed to do something to make this look a little bit safer. This is where I decided to take the brick and just redo the entire bottom portion of the house in brick. I actually really like it that way. I think it looks really cool. It's definitely a very unique style of home. It is as if they took a silo and really redid it. And I mean really redid it. Knocking out walls, adding bits, they really went to town on this. So, the front area I have a lot of fun with. I wanted to add a little bit more visual interest. I wanted to add more plants, more plant life. The more plants, the merrier. Throwing in some extra rocks. Maybe they, you know, in digging out the pond, they got a whole lot of rocks, and then instead of just throwing them out or pulverizing them into gravel, they decided to use them as landscaping bits. You never know. And because I love water so much, I added more fountains. All the fountains. Every fountain. I think my goal is at some point in time to use every fountain in this game. Hey, that's a good idea. Yes, I am going to do a build that incorporates every fountain! Maybe not all at once. But I'm going to try to use every fountain. Why not? It's going to be fun. That's a dancing water jet emitter. There is a very, very small bubbly fountain in the middle of those little circular fountains, but it's almost... you almost can't see it. I am adding because you can't do terrain tools or anything like that with The Sims 4, I added a different color of grass on top of her grass. So, on top of the base game grass, so that it looks like some spots are a little bit more lush, maybe they got a little extra fertilizer, whatever have you. You know, there's some spots of the grass is uneven. It looks a little bit more like real life grass. I had a little bit of fun with this. I was trying to figure out how I was going to get a walkway out to her beautiful, beautiful backyard, side yard, and I didn't like the way this looked at all. And I eventually just erased the whole dang thing, or I undo the whole dang thing. And I used the gravel, you know, basically making a river rock pathway for her. And I go through and I just add a little up into words. I have them. I've been falling over words this whole time. I make a little gravel section up the middle of the greenhouse. There's the word. You know, just to have a nice place to stand on and stuff like that when you walk over to it to sit down under the beautiful greenhouse, little gazebo area. I don't know, I had a lot of fun making this very lush. I went through and looked at a lot of the plants, and I decided to do two things. I decided to throw some regular brown dirt in there, and then that kind of scorched stuff to kind of look like pine needles. And I added that in a couple of places around the yard and stuff like that, just to add, again, more depth, a little bit more visual depth. And then I realized I had no lighting out here. Those lights are really fun. They're another one from the Kids Stuff pack, actually. And they look really cool, and I will definitely be using them in the future. They just didn't look quite right out here. And again, I tried doubling them up, and they don't look bad doubled up as long as they're the same color. They just weren't right for this space. So again, dine out. They look like paper lanterns. They really do. And that was really what I wanted to do. I wanted to have more paper lanterns to play off the tree that has the lanterns in it from the Bohemian, you know, the Bohemian, wow, guys, I don't have words. How are we going to get through an hour of me not having words? Or nearly an hour. 54 minutes? I'm looking at the end of my... It is pretty much 54 minutes of me not having words. I'm so sorry. It's for the Movie Day Hangout Stuff Pack. Yes! Woohoo! Okay, so I wanted to add more stuff to her porch because it looked really barren, and I couldn't stand how barren it looked, and I went kind of lame and I threw in a little potted plant that had just some twigs in it, just to kind of look neat, and I eventually threw in a chair. I wanted to get another funky sculpture like the lady with the flowers, and that's definitely staying. I love that. But I end up throwing in a very basic chair. I think I make it that one with the green seat there, and that's it. And that's pretty much all I do. And now we've moved into another build. The next door build. That is my modern starter, which is going to be a modern not-so-starter on the gallery. The other one was the upcycled starter plus. This is the modern not-so-starter. I realized that not in any single one of my builds have I actually done a fenced-in yard. Not a single one. Nary a one. So I decided this guy was going to have a fenced-in yard. I thought the sim that lived here would be way more of an entertainer, more of an outgoing, gregarious, fun personality who thrived on big parties and having lots of friends over, and a huge pool, because why not? And I have quite a bit of fun with this. This pool takes over on an interesting transformation. I put more of the bubblers in the bottom because I'm just kind of obsessed with them at this point. And I keep hitting my table here. I'm sorry, guys. I hope you can't hear the rattling. Hang on, I need another drink. I'm losing my voice. Okay. Cool water. Awesome. Whew. So while I was going through everything on the other build, I found the water fountains from the spa pack. The spa day, whatever it was called. I think it was spa day. That made me want to put them on a pool. Now, obviously, in the other build, I had no pool. So I had to set it aside. Yes, that one. There are a couple of levels of this. Actually, there are a couple of heights to it. And I start with the first one, and it's really, really tall. And it's really neat looking. And at the same point in time, it's really tall. So I decided to go and find the other heights of it. And I eventually picked the shortest of them, and I make the pool a little wider so that I could fit 4 across. Because right now you could do 3 and, like, a half. So I make the pool a little wider, there it is, and I add a 4th one. So it's a full wall of water on the edge of the pool there. And, you know, adjust the lighting and the bubblers and all of that. And then I decided to make the pool look a little less unfinished. I wanted to kind of mask the bubblers a little bit. I'm not entirely certain that that was accomplished, but they're slightly less visible. Slightly less visible. And again, I added the dark blue wallpaper there. For some reason, when you have move objects on and you drag flooring around, it actually covers the pool entirely. It's kind of neat and kind of weird at the same point in time. You also cannot click and drag to delete them all. You have to delete them by individual tiles. So I cut out my fixing and deleting of things because I really adjusted a lot there. Now, his house didn't get a whole lot of makeover to it. All I really did was, I worked on the outside primarily, and I gave him a door to the backyard. This was fun. So I wanted to give him a covered porch area, and again, I was having a really hard time with second stories here. I ended up having to not only delete that wall so that I didn't have the weird grid, but I eventually ended up having to wall in that area. Again, the roof line here looked awful. Awful on a way, it's terrible. And I realize now that I could have done 2 hipped roofs over that, actually, and made it look okay. I didn't even contemplate that at the time. Wow, yeah, I could have totally done that with 2 hipped roofs. Whoops. Oh well. Eventually I do scrap this whole idea as I play with it. And I cut the whole thing all apart, I undo everything, and I try again. And I try again a lot. I really try again. And I can't believe I didn't even think of the hipped roofs. The 2 hipped roofs, one going that way, one going the other way, and it would have been perfect. It would have been fine, and I would have had no issue whatsoever giving him a covered porch. Well, maybe for another design. Maybe I could do a traditional home. Well, no. Actually, my next build for this I already have sort of set up in my mind. I want to do a bunch of townhomes for Sims that I'm actually going to have to go in and play these Sims a little bit. I try with the gabled roof. I do. I give it the good old college try, but it's just terrible. It's all just terrible. But yeah, I want to do a set of maybe 4 townhomes. And do them all slightly differently, you know, in the larger lot that's in this little cluster of houses. And yeah, here's me undoing everything. Just yeah, yeah. I get to a point where I can just delete that and delete those and continue on. Oh, I got an idea to do like what I did before and put the fencing in and make spandrels and sort of give the illusion of having a covered porch. There's actually, those columns and those spandrels fit perfectly together. It's really cool. I think it looks really neat. It just did not work for this build. It didn't at all. He has no shade outside whatsoever. He's going to have all nighttime parties, or people are going to have to be okay not being in the shade. I didn't even think to put umbrellas out there, jeez. So, yep, I just redo that. For whatever reason, again, it makes a floor. I don't get it. He's got a big brick patio out there. Maybe I should have done more to this. Not certain. You know, hey, if anyone wants to download this from the gallery and fix it, and hashtag me in it, maybe hashtag asylum builds from previously, I can add another text media here. I can do this. Hashtag asylum builds. I'll throw it in this area. And yes, you can hear me. I am actually doing this as we talk. As we talk, I am doing this. And I'm going to have to go grab it. We're going to get to our screenshots soon here. But I'm going to grab the asylum builds one. Let me snag it. No! We're going to get to the screenshots long before I'm ready. I'm not ready! So you see me throwing out some extra seating. I love that huge table. I really do. I love that big table out there. It's so pretty. So pretty. And that one's actually got a semi-sheer shade to it. It's really kind of cool. So hashtag asylum builds has been thrown out in that relative area of where I was before. Not entirely certain it will be or not. Oh dear, okay, hopefully I I just clicked off of the area where I'm at. So what I'm seeing right now is the flowers being put up in his property. I'm really hoping that this matches. I'm so sorry, guys. Oh, I just did this for a full hour and I just messed it up. I'm so sorry. Hopefully I will be able to keep this and that it will sync up nicely in editing. If not, I'm gonna be sad and I'm gonna have to put some disclaimers on this. So I'm just gonna randomly talk until we get to the screenshots and hopefully I can work this out. So this is another build for my Asylum Challenge. It's not really a new building for it. This is just my fixing up some of the old buildings, giving them better aesthetics, and taking you on a small tour of the Be Well Gym and Spa that never got a chance to be made. If you hear the scratching in the background, I have a bug bite and I'm trying desperately not to itch at it. And we're moving into the screenshots now. I just put in a bar for him. And here we are. This is the upcycled silo. Redone. With a beautiful, beautiful lawn. Oh, I really do love this build. It is my absolute favorite. So pretty. It's so unique. It's so weirdly shaped. But that's what makes it beautiful. I really do love it. That seating area. Yes, and the pots and pans are still there, but you can see I do adjust it. Yet there it is. I've just fixed it. Moved some things around. Added that little light bar to the window because I just think it fits right there. I mean, you can never take that window out because now there's electrical current running through it, but it works. It completely works. And there's the upstairs area, the long bathroom. You can see that the lighting's not there, but you can see it in the mirror. It's really weird. And here we have the floor plan screenshots going from the top all the way down, you know, to the different levels of the floor plan. It's really cool. I really love it. And here we have the upcycled starter. And you can see here, you know, and yeah, no, not the upcycled starter, the modern not-so starter. Here's his huge entertaining backyard with a barbecue, and we do have the floor plan again. Nothing really changed on the inside here, just, you know, your basic build. There's the sim that goes with it, and here's the Be Well Gym and Spa, and all the floor plan here, and I took you through that in the very beginning of this build. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I hope you have a great day. Bye!